All right, exercise 516 is the price of a bond. Now, what makes bond a little bit unique is that you have both the annuity factor and the lump sum factor. So you're going to get a stream of interest payments, plus you're going to get the lump sum, the principal of the bond back at the very end. So you have both the annuity part and the lump sum part on that. So on 516, on September 30th of 2021, Sanfilippo Corporation issued 8% stated rate bonds with a face amount of $300 million. The bonds mature on September 30th of 2041, so 20 years from now. The market rate of interest for similar bonds was 10%. Interest is paid semi-annually on March 31st and September 30th. Okay, because interest is paid semi-annually, we're going to cut the interest rate in half, and so that will be 4% and 10%. We're going to have to use both sets of interest, and I'll show you why in just a second. So the first thing is we need to know the interest payment. So we're going to have 300 million times 0.04, because it's 8%, but it's paid semi-annually, which means it's half of that rate, or 4%, which is the common way in the United States, by the way, that bonds do pay semi-annual interest. So, and that was 300 million. And so they're going to pay 12 million in interest every 6 months for the next 20 years. Okay, so now we're going to use the 10%, the market price of the bond, but we have to cut that in half, so we get 5%. So present value of an ordinary annuity, 5%, but we double the number of periods. Instead of 20 periods, we go to 40 periods. So that is the 17,000, that bottom number there, 17.15909. So if we multiply that out, 12 million times 17.15909 will be 205,909,080. All right. So that is the present value of the interest payments. Okay. Now we need to know the present value of the principal. So that's going to be the 300 million. And this time we need the present value of a lump sum, present value of $1. And again, since it pays semi-annual interest, we're going to use the semi-annual rate. Again, that will be 5%, and that will be for 40 periods, is 0.14205. So we get the 300 million, 0.14205 gives you 42,615,000. And so that is the present value of the 300 million being paid back at the end of 20 years with semi-annual compounding and a 10% interest rate. Now what we need to do is add those two together. And we get the present value of the bond is 248,524,080. Now, ask yourself, does this pass the smell test? Yes, it does. The face value of the bonds is 300 million, but the interest rates have gone up. So I'm willing to accept your 8% interest rate, but I'm not going to pay you as much for that as I would if the market rate was 8%. Since the market rate is 10%, and I can go find somebody else with 10%, I'll take your 8%, but I'm going to discount the amount that I pay you for that. It turns out the fair value at this interest rate in this period of time is $248,524,080. So that's how to value bonds. And we'll be using that a lot in intermediate too.